Hey guys, AntVenom here.
Hey guys, MusicByPedro here.
And welcome back to, well, let's just say a behind-the-scenes look at sort of like the actual process of making the Through the Night music video. And today Pedro is with me because he was a major part of the video. I mean, what do you have to say, Pedro, Mr. Professional?
Thank you for the opportunity to. I think this is my first time in your video, on your channel. I think so.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of the music video as well. So
yeah. And today we're going to be getting a bit into sort of like just some general talking points, but more specifically, we're going to be diving into the storyboarding process for the music video, because the primary things that myself and Pedro did for this project was, we obviously, Pedro visited me back in February, and we did the the lyric process, coming up with the melody, storyboarding, and we're going to be talking about the storyboarding aspect of things in this video, and then very briefly talking about sort of like what our roles were in the actual music video process, because Bootstrap Buckaroo did all of the animation, and we were kind of there along for the ride, so we'll get into that here as time passes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask Pedro a few questions, and then we're just going to kind of talk about how things, went from the storyboarding process onwards. So the first question I have for you, Pedro, is what actually inspired you to get into, I guess, music in general, just before you got to, doing Minecrafty type stuff?
Well, I went to school and I got my degree in music performance, and I studied a lot of composition, and I picked up a lot of piano while I was in school. So I basically started improvising or coming up with my own songs, or being able to play things that I would hear on the radio and play them on piano, that kind of stuff. A lot of people do that. So I basically got started that way, yeah.
And was there any sort of like initial, I guess, condition that really got you into it, or was it just, general interest in music and general interest to make music? Or was there, was there any sort of catalyst, I guess you could say, to, to getting into the industry?
To getting into the industry, I mean, I started, as soon as I finished school, I wanted to start making music for people, and you don't just like up and start making music for anybody. So
right.
I know that I wanted to, but I just didn't have the connections. I definitely had a passion. I love playing. I mean, I play on all sorts of instruments, and I'm always about making music one way or another, even if it's just tapping on my desk. That kind of stuff. Yeah,
I read it. And if you guys, want to see more from his channel, I mean, the links are always going to be in the description below. But I know at the end of your video that we actually did, we mentioned this at the end, but I'll mention it now. There's actually another behind-the-scenes video over on Pedro's channel where we actually talk about the lyric writing process and the whole process of you having visited here and what we did during that time frame, writing up the lyrics and everything that sort of went into that. So be sure to check that out if you'd like. But the second question that I have is, what got you into actually making music for, either for yourself, Minecraft related, or for other YouTubers, for example? What got you into that whole process?
Well, I think what got me started was I found Minecraft through the Yogscast. I saw them play it, and I decided to do what they did, type of thing, and I eventually bought the game, and I started playing more and more. I was actually planning to be a server moderator. You got to start somewhere. Server moderator for a Let's Play channel that had approximately 10,000 subscribers. Their names, the channel name was No Games for Young Man. They're not around anymore. That channel isn't, anyways. And I met them, because I was a moderator. I needed to be able to talk to them and stuff. And because I was of a certain age, they automatically basically said, "Sure, you can be our moderator. You're 26. You're 26 years old, of course. You're not going to teach you like a 12-year-old." So that was cool. I had a lot of free time back then, so I was able to help them out and stuff. And they started asking me questions about what I did, and I told them I was a musician. I do gigs here and there. I play piano, and they were like, "So can you play some stuff for us?" And I was like, "Sure." I was on my laptop, so I took my laptop with me to one of the music rooms that we have here, and I just played them some very light piano, very ambiance type of stuff that like C418, has in the alpha volume, and And they said, "Wow, that's amazing, dude. You know who would really, really like that?" And I was like, I had no clue. I was like, I don't know who. they were like Variety. I was like, who's Variety?
Oh God.
Because I had heard of the Yogscast, and I heard of No Games for Young Men and a couple of other channels and stuff like that. Hadn't really heard of yourself or Sparkles at the time or anything like that.
Yep.
But I met him, and I learned really quickly that he was the guy who makes the Minecraft trailer, for Minecraft, and I was very impressed. And he wanted me to work on a project with him, and which was a parody of Grand Theft Auto 4 when it was getting ready to come out.
Nice.
He wanted to make a Minecraft machinima, and he wanted me to make something similar to the cheesy music that they have in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that, and the video was very well received. And then from there, he told me about all these other songs in Minecraft and stuff. And I said, wow, I'll check it out. And I checked out Revenge, which I fell in love with.
Yep.
And one day I sat down and I said, wow, I want to make my own parody too. And so I sat down and I wrote the lyrics for my first one, which was My Favorite Things.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I sat down, wrote it all out. 45 minutes. It was so easy because you're just listing stuff. There's no rhyming.
Right.
You look at the form, holy crap, it was so easy.
And I think that's actually how you and I first met initially.
I think so.
I'm not sure if it was directly through Variety or what the case was, but that's how you and I first met. So I guess that's a good segue to get into that here, because I remember, I do remember. I believe I did a section on that video if I remember correctly. Because
oh no, that My Favorite Things was a list of all the stuff that you find in Minecraft.
Okay.
Then after that one, I did my Minecraft. I love my Minecraft world in Steven's channel.
Yeah.
And then we led into Minecraft is Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
That's where I met.
Because I remember that project being one of them. I remember what comes to mind is that Discovery Channel thing that they did. And Boom Diata, yes. And that's actually where you and I first met. And I'm just trying to think here, like how exactly did that initially go from? Did we go from that to the Miner?
I don't. I think. Oh gosh. I think you were interested in doing something for your channel, and then you contacted me, and you said you were interested in getting an instrumental made and some stuff like that. And me and Brad were working together a lot on stuff. We had just finished doing my Minecraft world. Yeah. So I asked him if he wanted to just do the singing for it. He's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I think from there, we after going through, everything that needed to be changed and all that, I think we ended up with a pretty decent product. So that's how that ended up happening. I think it wasn't really a whole lot of development. You basically said, hey, can you do this? And we put together an instrumental. You're like, I like this. Can you do something about this and do that? And I was like, okay. And we did, and it just kind of everything was assumed after that point. And
I think I want to apologize in advance to the viewers that up until that point, my memory's a little bit shoddy on things. Like I had to actually go back through our Skype history to see like, oh, when we first add each other on Skype? Oh, it was like, okay, it was like several months before the Miner came out and whatnot. But from the Miner and onwards, I mean, the story itself is, pretty self-explanatory. I know that, once we finished up with the Miner, we took that to Nick Nickham, and it was myself and Nick Nickham for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. But then from there, the Miner was released, and after that, I think it, almost a year later, because the Miner came out in March. So, okay, it was about 9 months after. That's when you started bugging me like, hey, when are we going to do the next project, man? And from there, I do remember, I wanted to do a thrift shop parody, actually, which was months after its big popularity spike. So I think ultimately that would have been a big mistake, even though it's a catchy song, but that would have been a mistake.
Yeah. And I think I'm kind of glad it didn't work out either, because someone made one. Not that, just because someone else makes it means you can't make one either, but it was such a popular song that because of the popularity of that one versus how we're pretty sure this one would have done, it would have been kind of bumping and grinding a little too much for my
Yeah,
taste. I don't want my stuff to be bumping into other stuff.
Right, so that's well, you know, shortly after that, we came up with the idea of doing an original video. You know, it seemed like the best option, not only just for that reason, but because of copyright reasons. Like, we never in our lives have to worry about copyright for this video, copyright issues, because it's original. You know, I mean, you did the instrumental in an airport on your iPad. So for those who never thought you couldn't do things with, you know, the iPad and software on there, you're mistaken, because that's where the original was made. You said it was done on GarageBand, correct? Right?
That guy right there.
Yep.
It was, yeah. Yeah, let me see real quick. You can keep talking while I can.
Oh God, are you actually gonna pull it up? I'm
gonna play it.
You have the original. Oh my God.
I have the original. I feel like this is like I wrote it on a stone chisel, and it's like, here, stone, I chisel, make music. Oh, you know.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, while Pedro's looking for that, I'll talk about this a little bit. I mean, so he sends me this instrumental, and I was actually happy that it was a mostly happy-themed instrumental, because the initial concept for this music video was actually kind of sad in nature. It revolved more around the sad element of the song than it did the happy elements of the song. So I'm glad that when you came to me with that, I mean, I think from that point I actually changed the storyboard a little bit, and we talked about that a fair bit on your channel. What we're going to wind up talking about here in a few minutes is the physical storyboarding process, you being over the house and what we did, you know, during that process. But yeah, so very glad, you know, that you had something just ready to go like that, because I had no ideas. I'm just like, well, I know I want it to be happy and catchy. That's about all I told you, I think. I'm like, happy and catchy is a good thing. Like,
yeah, not people that people that are always looking for songs, they always give me really generic words. So it's kind of, they're like, we want it to be upbeat, you know, which upbeat is kind of specific. Upbeat, happy, and cheery. I'm just like, okay, so like something the Smurfs would sing is appropriate then.
It's like if you give me something like, oh, I had to start for a beat like boom 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 boom. Yeah, that'd probably at least be a little bit better for you. But I left you to do that this time around.
That's right. Here it is, right here.
Oh my God! You got to play that, just a small snippet of that for the people.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay. Here we go. The original, made on iPad.
See if it goes through the intro. Should. So there's no vocals on it yet, but that's basically it. And then the bridge, the sad part.
Wow, way more high-pitched and way faster in that version. Or at least a little bit.
I think
that might actually be Skype messing up. That's why I'm hearing it high-pitched, I think.
It's... I think so, yeah.
Oh my God. Yep.
But yeah, that's basically, I mean, people, I get emails of people that say, hey, man, what do you use to make music? And I'm like, well, number one, you have to know a little bit. You know, playing an instrument definitely helps. Having a good ear also helps.
Yep.
But, I mean, something as simple as this. I had no idea I was going to do this on the plane. I mean, I was bored. I think, what the hell was I playing? It's funny. I was playing an airplane game on the plane. And I don't know what the heck is it. And you know, I was just like, all right, let's I'm kind of bored of this airplane game while I'm on a plane, so I wonder if I could just let me just make some you know what I was trying to do? I was trying to make some royalty-free music on my iPad. I was like, if I can get a couple of those done, that's one a week. If I get like 3 done, that's 3 weeks worth of videos that I don't have to worry about doing.
Right?
And I like how this, you know, how upbeat this one ended up being. It was happy and cheery and upbeat.
Yep.
And I really, really, really liked it. So, I was like, I did more with it and did more and more with it. And I was like, this would be a good song, I think, to do the original music for. And I heard, my wife was sitting next to me. I had headphones on. I plugged her in. She's like, it sounds really good. And I was like, huh. I wish I could have messaged you while I was on the plane, but international flights, there's no
right.
There's no internet. But I was very excited. As soon as I landed on that plane, I was like, phone, Ant, have the song. So that was how that worked.
And then essentially from that point, I mean, I had the general storyboard idea, and we felt like at that point it was time, or you presented the idea of you visiting me. We covered a lot of this on your, on your behind the scenes video. So you visited so that we wouldn't be distracted by Skype and by the internet in general, which,
the internet is
which
evil.
we even were a little bit when you were over here, but not nearly as badly as we would have been otherwise. But all right, so now comes to the topic that we really wanted to tackle, which is 17 minutes later than we thought we were going to tackle it. So yay to that. Yay to that.
We're on schedule.
Professionalism. It's always the running joke that we're unprofessional.
We're unprofessional.
Yep, both of us. So anyways, you get over the house. Can you describe a little bit? I mean, we'll go back and forth here, but can you describe a little bit sort of what the thought process was? You walk in the door, you place your equipment down on my coffee table, upstairs in the living room. Where did we wind up going from there? What was the sort of structure writing the storyboard out, which was actually done on this very whiteboard right here, which no longer has anything on it, but I'll probably superimpose some of those pictures that I,
you definitely should.
Because what we did is, I can say this, and you can go more into detail. We wrote stuff down, I took pictures of it with my phone, and then we referenced it later when we needed to get on the computer and actually start doing the lyric writing, which again was covered on your channel.
It seemed easier to do it on a dry erase board, because if we didn't like something, it was just a quick erase. It was just that was the best way to go about it. Something tangible like that, instead of, I don't know, I mean, I use technology every day, but having tangible stuff, even if it's a dry erase board, it just makes it so much better. So basically what happened when I got there, we got the dry erase board and we started writing out some of the major stuff first, so we know what the major events were, and then we started going into more finer details, and that in itself really helped write the lyrics, which we went over a little bit more on my video, but it made it easy because we knew exactly what we needed to sing about.
Right. Essentially, I mean, from that point, initially the song was only going to be about 3 minutes long, and what we did was, we wrote like verse 1, verse 2, chorus 1, verse 3, verse 4, chorus, or, how the chorus was going to go. We knew the chorus was going to repeat once each time it happened. And, so what we did is we took that initial storyboard idea and we sort of broke it down, like how much are we going to fit. The main thing actually was, since Pedro had the instrumental for the song, we knew that each section was about 13 to 14 seconds long. So we knew that when whoever was going to animate it at the time, we didn't know it was going to be Bootstrap at the time. We're just like, well, what are we going to fit in this 13, 14 second time range? All right, we don't want to overstuff it. We don't want to make it too bland. We want to add a good amount of content into this. So yeah, we just broke down each storyboard element onto a specific section of the song, and that's where we kind of found out that a 3-minute song was not going to be enough. Like, this had to be, like, I think we had iterations that were like 3 minutes and 20 seconds, 3:40, and then it eventually wound up pretty much at 4 minutes flat. Right
at 4 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And then we ended up adding more to it later with the Foley and letting the story kind of unveil itself a little more without the help of the song, which worked out pretty good too, with the sound effects and the end noise and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so I mean, that was that process, and then again, you guys will see from the pictures that we boiled it. We wrote down the entire storyboard, and then we wrote down everything from there, and then from there, I mean, I guess we kind of wound up talking about random things in this video, because the actual storyboarding process, I would say, wasn't really as lengthy as the lyric writing process, because then from there, once we were all done with the whiteboard, we came back downstairs here, typed everything that we had into Google Docs, and from there it was lyric writing time, right? Yep. That's exactly right. I mean, lyrics took right at 2 days.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be less. This was the first original project that I had done. I feel confident. I knew we were going to have solid lyrics,
Yep.
I didn't know how long it was gonna take.
Yeah, and it took like up until the last couple of hours in the day, in the last day, pretty much. Again, if you guys want to hear about that, be sure to check out Pedro's side of the behind the scenes video, and you know that'll pretty much take you up from the visit all the way to when you wound up leaving. You know, pretty much. So, so yeah, we can. So now at this point, I guess we're pretty much going to be talking about, I guess, our roles in the music video making process. But I want to preface it by saying initially we didn't know who the animator was going to be for this. We had a song, you know, pretty much done at this point. Well, I wouldn't say done. The actual final version of the song got done. We actually weren't even sure if the song itself was going to be done before the animation was, because Bootstrap animated it that fast, or at least he was getting into it that quickly. We're like, wait, not gonna have time for this.
I felt so, and again, this is the joke, I feel so unprofessional, because normally the song is done before any animation even begins. Now we're at the point where the final song won't even be done by the time he, finishes the animation. And that was crazy.
That was scary.
I got mad at him. I said, "What are you trying to do? Well, you make me look bad in front of Ant. It's ridiculous that you're gonna do that." But no, he's amazing, and he works so fast, and I didn't mind having that. It actually pushed me to get things going at a faster pace without sacrificing quality, of course.
Yeah, and initially Bootstrap joined the project. I mean, you knew him pretty well, so yeah, I think it was you who wound up asking him if he was interested in the project, and then he got in contact with me. We were all we've been in contact with each other throughout the entire project. We didn't just toss a song off to him and say, "Here you go." I mean, we've been involved, and we have a Skype group that's like that long, and we've been going at it for quite a while.
And I love the fact that he keeps us updated very, very, very much. He liked the fact that he had a storyboard to work with, and then he added his own, personal elements to the video, which I really liked. Because
I remember in the beginning it was like we Bootstrap became on board, and it was like 2 Skype calls to cover everything, and then he just went to town for a while, and then periodically he would contact us about things that maybe he wasn't sure about. I remember there was one thing that I can instance specifically here, which directly has to do with the storyboard. We didn't know how we were going to introduce the female character. Initially, she was just going to kind of be in the woods inspecting the house, and he was going to leave the nether portal, and we were going to do the bow firing thing. But Bootstrap pretty much said that's the equivalent of her being a pumpkin on a stick. She's just there. And interesting point. So that's, where he actually came up with the idea of making it like, oh, she's robbing the house. Not really with the intention of being bad, but like, oh, it's the only house around. She has no supplies,
It's basically looting. I mean, she was looting. I mean, it's
pretty much. I mean, I'd do that on survival mode if it was hardcore and there's nobody around. Like, beautiful, like...
Abandoned? I mean, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, was this abandoned? Nobody's home.
Nothing around.
Maybe she never saw the pig in the backyard. Who knows?
Exactly. Nothing to show that he was anywhere to be found, because he was in the nether that whole time.
Yep. So, that's just some examples of stuff that Bootstrap has added into the storyboard. But yeah, from there, it's pretty much just been, we go back and forth on tiny little bits, and then eventually he started sending us completed animatic segments of the music video. And from there, it's just kind of been, the whole thing eventually, as you guys are seeing this now, the music video is done. But as of us recording this, the music video isn't going to be out for another 4 days. Yeah. So, we're actually, we're recording this ahead of time so that, we can be totally professional and be done.
That's right, and on schedule.
You're very professional. Anyways.
But, it's cool that he did that, and he added so many little things like that. And he wasn't just doing his job, like you said in my video. He's not just an animator.
Yeah. He's not just anybody.
He's very, very imaginative, and some of the little nuances that he put in, like, for example, and I talked about this on my other video just in case anybody misses it, is the whole thing with her falling over the fence, you know, into the little mud hole, and that that was hilarious.
I wouldn't have thought of that. I knew I wanted them to bond. I knew I wanted them to bond a little bit, but you know, in my typical mind, my not super artist mind, I'm like, maybe they should, you know, practice against the target dummies or something that were in the basement.
Yeah,
that was my idea.
Maybe he's like teaching her how to hold a bow or something, you know, just something like that. But like his was just a different, and it was funny, and it
accomplished the same goal pretty much. You know, the whole bonding experience, especially when she throws the dirt in his face, and you see this sort of cutesy look go between them. You know, it sort of helped establish that, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely. The you know, the other thing I liked about him is like you said about the animatics is at first he storyboarded everything, so we saw the video happening with stills, you know. Right,
and that's why it was so important to have the storyboard done, because I think you know, by the time we sent it to Bootstrap, we had the lyrics and we had the storyboard section of song by section of song. We didn't have like frame by frame. That's the sort of thing we knew that Bootstrap had the creative capability of managing on his own, and something that I think he'd want to do anyways, because I mean, he's an artist. You tell him to go frame by frame with something, and you know, I don't know, I just feel like this was more akin to what he was capable of doing.
And that's one of the other things that I like personally, myself as an artist as well, about the song, is that you gave me freedom to come up with it from scratch. Yeah. You know, you said happy and cheerful. I was like, I can do that. They can go in like 6 million directions, but I can do that, you know?
Well, that's the sort of thing, you know, when I personally hire people for projects like this, I mean, I trust your creative vision. I wouldn't be hiring you otherwise.
Yeah, it's very important to do that. And we've certainly felt the same way about David, and there's nothing I would change about what he put in there. Not even camera angles.
Right, like if we were to do another music video, which is possible, but we're not going to announce anything, you know, because we're not at that stage. But if we were all the details, find the details in an unlisted video in an unannounced area of the internet. Bam.
Right here. Yeah. Click right here, right now. Oh, you missed it. You missed it. It was half a second.
Oh, yeah, click here. Oh, too late. Too late. You can't rewind it. You won't see the annotation. It deleted itself. Yeah. Anyways, if we were to do another one of these, I don't think I'd want to change much of the process at all. It just worked, you know. We were all very patient with each other. Good vibes. Yeah. Stress level, as Brandon would say from the Freddie W channel, stress level 0.
Oh my God.
0.
I made the song and I sent it to you. You said, change this, change that. I said, okay. I changed it, sent it to you. Sounds good. When can we have the final thing? Let's get a singer, blah, blah, blah.
And Jay Breeze did an awesome job with it as well. We haven't given him any credit yet. Jay Breeze did an amazing job. You told me here's your description. Here's all you told me about him prior to me hearing the entire song. Yeah, he's got a Michael Jackson range to him. I'm like, all right, cool. Well, you also had was Minin' out at the time? The parody that's on your channel, was that even out yet, or?
No, it wasn't out yet.
Interesting. I think by the time we initially concepted the music video, it wasn't out yet, but I think at some point you're like, oh, hey, here's the Minin' song, you know, if you want to hear it. I'm not exactly sure which came first, our first draft with you know, the Through the Night song, or Minin'. I actually can't remember which came first.
I can't remember either.
I know that they were that close, because this project started in February of this year. I mean, it didn't take seven months. It took about 4 this time, and there was even like a 1-month gap where not a whole lot was happening, which was fine. I mean, we were all very busy, and then what you guys saw happened. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers mostly everything we wanted to go over.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we did the stuff with Bootstrap, and then, you know, about a day or 2 before release, we got the final copy of the video.
That's right.
You know, and that's it from there.
It's seamless. I mean, you know, I just finished. I'm finished doing mining, and mining all in all took like a month to make. Obviously, animation and storyboarding and all that. But you know, mining, because it was a parody, and it was just really easy to just do the words. It just took so much less. But that one was also like smooth free. We didn't run into any hiccups. No copyright stuff, none of that stuff.
And I'm looking forward to not running into copyright issues with our original video.
Yeah, we have we have the rights to everything. We've got the raw master file here to prove it.
Right. And even just to be sure, I never told you I did this until now, but I actually, to a private channel that, you know, doesn't have any association with anything, I uploaded it just to be sure there is no false flags, and there weren't any, so we were good to go.
Oh, good. Yeah. I do that too, but I figured because I mean it's an original.
Yeah, I mean it's not based off of anything. It's not loosely parodying anything. It is an original song, 100%.
Yeah, really, I don't think I wasn't even thinking of any specific song when I composed it, and I think that definitely.
Yep. Yeah, because that could definitely soil a creative vision if one song's beat gets stuck in your head enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it just kind of helped that I was in that playing it, and if I didn't hear the song playing back at me, I just heard, you know, from the plane. Sometimes that white noise helps you filter out any unwanted thoughts, you know, other musical ideas or other songs, that kind of stuff. So
yep.
But no, this was a blast, dude. I mean, just like with the minor.
Let's do it again.
Maybe we'll see, people. If you guys want more music videos. But down there in the hoopla,
leave a comment or a rating or whatever. But that pretty much covers it for us for now. If you guys want to hear more about the actual lyric writing process, again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, be sure to check out Pedro's perspective. We'll have that linked in the description below. But anyways, I guess that's it for now. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm good to go, man.
Cool. Anyways, hope you all have enjoyed this random little behind the scenes introspective of the process. My name is AntVenom.
And my name is Pedro.
And we bid you all farewell.
Take care, guys.
Thanks so much for watching.